Hey, it's Friday. It's Friday. Welcome back. It's your girl Renee Nicole with Name a Better Duo, and I'm so excited. We are talking stock options today. Sorry, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to step up my technological game. Dang, I can't even rewind this or edit this out. It's all we live, baby. Trying to figure out how to pin our topic for today. Hey there. Hey Rue. Hey Grandma. Faithful listeners. Ooh. Is that you? No. Kareem, no, that's not you, is it? Okay. Okay, here we go. Boom. Welcome. Hercules. Happy Friday. Hello there.
Hello.
Kareem.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Long time no talk to.
Yes, very long time.
How are things? I'm actually on your side of the coast now, so
Yeah,
I
it's
know how things are cold.
it was cold, but today
Warming up a little
is
bit,
yeah,
actually.
today was actually nice, so I can't complain.
Yes, God is good all the time. I'm so
All the
excited to
time.
have you here and so excited to be talking about this subject matter and just about this series as a whole because I think that it's something that we all could learn. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do, I don't know how to do it. We just gonna
Well, I
go.
will say thank you for having me while you're trying to get all the technical stuff out. So
Thank you. I was trying to figure out, come on, background. Come on, big old screen in the back.
I'm
I'm
playing
trying to figure out,
business
I see people
news.
like pin what the subject is, and I'm gonna have to Google it next time and be prepared. I
Mm,
wasn't prepared, but I'm prepared for this conversation and I'm excited about it.
okay.
So again, this is the Black Wealth series. It's a special series that I'm doing here with Name a Better Duo
Mhm.
because I was like, we're in this pandemic, and I myself was thinking of ways outside of the box to create wealth, and
Mhm.
to generate money outside of the normal 9 to 5. And not only that, but that would actually go on to live beyond me. That
Mhm.
when I'm gone, that my children's children can say that they have this foundation that I left behind.
That's
And
what
I
it's all
think
about.
that it's yes, and I think that it's something that our people sometimes, not because of for any malice or bad reason, but we just don't know. We don't have the education
Hmm.
about this, so since I've been researching and learning a little bit, I wanted to bring on some friends that I know that might be a little more educated than me about these subjects, to talk about it. And it was actually a post you did on Facebook
Hmm.
talking about earn your leisure and just stocks and stock options, and different YouTubers that talk about it and give out free information, that
Yes.
I even learned even more by
Mhm.
looking up the YouTubers that you suggested. So I was like, let me get Kareem on here to talk about stock options. Is very new to me. It's not something that I've dived into. So I wanted to have someone that was a little more educated, to talk about it. So,
Mhm.
ladies and gents, Kareem Ellis. Thank you for coming. Tell us, Kareem, we're gonna get right into it, but tell us first, what it is that you do, and
Um,
what was it? Just give us a little background about you.
First of all, I met Renee working at Strayer, which I still
Strayer
work with.
University.
Strayer, which has become SEI. I'm a
Oh, I didn't
senior.
even know that.
Yeah, because we merged with Capella, and I can't say too much about everything that happened,
Yeah, that's all. We'll talk
but
offline.
yeah, um, I'm a senior operations analyst. In my spare time, I have a tie company. Um, I used to have a record label. It's still active, but I don't use it that much. So I make music. What else do I do? I do a lot of things. So it is too many to list. Follow me
Hmm.
on IG here, and you can see some of the stuff I do.
Yes,
But
yes.
also, yeah, I do a lot of day trading now too. Because
Okay.
one thing I know we need as a people is to build generational wealth. So that's one of the
Amen.
reasons I have a tie company. And that's why I learned trading as well. So
I love it. And you're a technological, I don't know why I can't say technology today. technology guru. Whenever I have a technical issue, I would always hit you up. And you also created the intro to my YouTube channel, my previous
Correct.
intro when I was in LA. So thank
Yes.
you, thank you, thank you for being
You're welcome.
here. I know that you're going to have so much wisdom to share with our listeners today. So I'm excited. Without
Okay.
further ado, let's get started. So we are talking stock options. And some
Mhm.
people may be like, Kareem, what are stock options? So break it down to us. What are stock options?
So stock options are actually, you buy contracts. You buy contracts to buy and sell shares of stock. So for everybody who wants to invest and you don't have enough money to invest in the Amazons, the Googles, and things like that, options is a good way to get into investing in those type of companies. So
Okay.
I don't know how far you want me to get deep into it, or so.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's really good. It's a contract, right? And it's something that you can actually put an end date on, like a stop date, or like
Well,
that's pretty much what it.
when you
Go ahead.
buy options, they automatically have an expiration date.
Okay.
So when you're purchasing options, you can buy weekly, they have monthly or yearly options. So the further out you go, the more expensive it's going to be, but the less riskier it becomes.
Got it.
So when you buy a contract, one contract is worth 100 shares of that stock. So each contract has a premium, it has a strike price, and it has an expiration date.
Okay.
So
So tell us what's a premium and a strike price.
the strike price, okay, the premium is the amount you're going to pay for the contract. The
Okay.
strike price is what you think the ticker is going to go to, basically. So, for instance, if I don't know, use Tesla. Tesla is currently at 600 and some odd change, like 17. If you think Tesla is going to go to $700 by, let's say, February, you might want to buy an option with a strike at that. You know
Okay.
what I mean? And that would be a call strike, because you think it's going to go up.
You're calling it. Kind of like
Yes.
playing pool.
Yes.
Corner pocket, red ball. Got it. Got it. Okay.
So yeah, and
Okay, that makes sense. That breaks it down for us. So, what are the pros and cons of stock options over long-term investing?
um, a pro is you can make a lot of money really fast. Like a lot of people trade options to get money to get in the long term trades,
Got it.
or some people trade options to pay their bills. Because you buy a contract, you may get in a contract and you make a profit within 15 minutes and you sell it.
Wow.
So, but one of the cons, the biggest con I feel like is the expiration date. Because if it doesn't make you a profit by the time it expires, you lose your whole investment. It's not like buying shares where if the shares fluctuate over time, you can still hold it and make a profit, or you may lose money, but you still have the physical shares. With an option, once it expires, that's it. Either
So
you
what?
sold it and made your profit, it actually hit your strike price in an exercise and you bought the shares of the stock, or you just lost your full investment.
So whatever that stock price is at the time of that expiration date, that is where you're at. So if it's less than what your initial investment is, then you've lost money. If it's more, then you've gained.
If it's less than your strike price, it won't exercise and you lost 100%. So that's why when you're buying an option, I mean, I can't say this is what you should go do because I know they say, don't come suing me.
Right.
But
And let's give that disclaimer here and now. We
yeah,
are not financial advisors. We are just letting you know some of the information we've learned,
yeah.
and Kareem is sharing with you some of the things he's done. But with that said, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so the goal is when you do trade options, I do weekly options or I do it out for the next week, but usually I'll make my profit within a day or so.
Okay.
So I sell it immediately. You don't have to hold it until the expiration. So if I get in an option and say I spend a couple $100 and it goes up $100, I can sell it immediately within a few minutes and make my $100 and be done with that trade.
Right.
That's the
And
beauty of
that's
trading options and day trading.
right, right. And that's where you have to kind of study the market and study the company because, you know, with investing, period, any type of trading or investing, it's a risk. But you have to decide, okay, is this a good number to sell on? Is this a good number,
Correct.
to like get my money in? And it's also very a good idea. I even would say that you shouldn't, invest without knowing what your price is, right? Like, okay, this is
Yes.
the amount that I want to get out on. This is my comfort zone based on the research, based on where I've seen, what this company can do, what it's
Yes.
capable of.
And also never trade the amount that you can afford to lose.
Mm,
And that's with anything. If you're investing, you're buying stocks, because there's companies that go bankrupt and you may have funds invested in. So if you can't afford to do it, if you're worried about losing a few $100s or whatever, just don't get into it, because you'll be
that's
stressed out.
that's a word. Don't be over here trying to trade the mortgage and the car note, like,
Yes. If
and
you
be
can't
out here
afford
with
to
no
lose
place
it,
to live.
that's the
Right.
note. So write this down. If you can't afford to lose it, don't do it.
And we can shut this down right now. Bye, y'all.
Rule number one.
Rule number one. That is such a important tip, because I think we often, especially with this type of series, we recommend taking a risk, and
Hmm.
putting yourself in a position where you can make more money, which means you're going to take a bigger risk, but you have to make sure you're doing it smart, right? Like, you have to make sure that you are actually prepared for what can happen, because it can be a gain, but it can also be a loss. So it's important to kind of put some money away that you're comfortable with. I don't want to say playing with, but you kind of are. Like, it's kind of
No,
like a
that's
game.
exactly what it is. It's a gamble.
Yeah, it's a gamble. Exactly. All right. So break down to us, what is a stop and what is a limit order?
A stop is when, I don't even use them, but say a stock is going to rise, and you put there's a percentage that if it comes down, it'll do an automatic sale. I probably need to do these, but I do use limits. So
Okay.
when I buy my options, I try to buy them when they're on the uptrend. So I put a
Okay.
limit in. So say I buy a contract for $1.50. If you buy a contract for $1.50, that's going to be $150 because it's worth 150 shares. 100 shares of stocks are.
Right.
So you spend $1.50, and then I'll put a limit in for 250, $2.50 rather, if it makes sense. And then when it hits 250, it'll automatically sell for me. So
Okay.
that's $100 profit.
Okay. So you
So
already have in mind how much you're gonna profit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it is. And you're not always going to get $100. You're not always going to get 50%. Sometimes you have to settle for 20 or 30%. But the key is to make sure you're making a profit. Or if you're
Right.
going to take a loss, take a small loss. So I have this, I don't know, it's not a meme, but it's a cutout that I have when I trade. It says small losses, small profits, big profits. So those are the only three types of trades that you want to be involved in. You don't want to take big losses where you're actually losing all your money. So like I said, with options, you can actually lose everything. So if you see that you're actually going to take a loss in the trade, you might as well just get out.
Okay. That's good to know. I know that I don't know, you mentioned that stops are something that you should do, but you don't. Why is it something that you feel like it's a good recommendation, but you don't really take part in that?
Well, after talking, I'm probably going to start doing it because I read the question. I was like, well, I probably should be doing this. Stops, because
Hmm.
you can see a stock run up. And then if you're not paying attention, or say you walk away and something happened and it tanks, the stock will actually sell it for you. The stock will sell it for you, when it actually
Okay.
starts coming down once it reaches a certain price point. If you're
Right.
not around to catch that, you could actually
Right.
lose out in your profits and possibly get to the point where you're taking a loss. So,
Yeah. So you're the type of trader that's watching on a
yes.
regular basis. So you're not, when to get out. Where some people, might put the phone down and you're like, oh Lord, what did happen in these past 15 minutes? And
Yes,
that's when the stop it comes in
I have,
handy.
I keep charts up. Even if I go, like I'll have it on my computer and then I'll take a break since we're all remote, and I'll go take a walk and I have my phone out with the charts up as well while I'm walking. So,
Okay. I
but
got
it
it. Got
depends on what platform you're using as well too, because you can set alerts where it'll actually send you a notification if something happens. So,
And these are in real time.
yes.
Okay.
So I use E-Trade. I know a lot of people use Robinhood. because at one point it was the only free place for trading. You know,
Mm-hmm.
on E-Trade, you have more flexibility. It's only 50 cents per contract. You know, Robinhood is free contracts, but I don't believe they let you really day trade. You can only do so many trades a week. Like with me, I might do the trade limit within a day, you know, so
Wow.
then I wouldn't be able to trade for the rest of the week. So E-Trade, I guess it's, if you're really trying to day trade, I would try E-Trade or Fidelity or something like that.
So let's talk about that because we talked a little bit about this last week with long-term investing over day trading.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a preference? Do you think for a newbie that it's better to start off with the long-term investing, or is day trading something that is, easily learned for even a new investor?
Um, I would suggest long-term trading, but paper trade, day trade. So I don't know, on E-Trade, they actually have a paper trading platform. So you can trade, they give you, it's a fake account and they put $100,000 in there. So if you are buying real stocks, you could practice trading. Even if you can practice trading options, you can practice trading shares of stock in there as well. So before you even get into trading stocks, even, I would even say practice paper trading. Because there's a lot you need to learn. Like, I learned the hard way. I didn't paper trade. I just used money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I've learned from that. You know, we started out trading penny stocks, and then I found out about options, and then we just kind of just jumped into it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm like that too. I'll just jump in. I'll start small though,
Yeah,
but then I'll jump in because I feel like I learn better when there's more risk
I
involved.
agree.
Like I'm more like conscious of what's taking place, and I'm doing more research and I'm paying more attention
Mhm.
when my money's involved.
Oh, I know,
So
I agree.
yeah, I'm totally with you. But for those who don't feel that way, or those who don't have it, definitely I recommend some of the paper trading because, why not come in? That's what we go to school for. That's why
Yeah,
we study, so that we can come in already educated and knowing. So definitely recommend
exactly.
that.
Don't
And
do
there's
what
a
I
lot.
did.
What's that?
I said, don't do what I did.
Don't do what don't do what Kareem did. Okay. How can, and you kind of touched on this a little bit already, but how can one determine how long an option should be held?
um, my whole thing, it's really a personal preference.
Hmm.
You know, I'm going to piggyback on this to say, don't get greedy. Because in options, you can see a $100 investment. Like you might buy a contract for $1 and you can see that go up to $10, $15. So $1 could easily turn into, I mean, $100 could easily turn into $1,500 within a span of a few hours. You know, I've seen it before, and I'm guilty of being greedy, and I've lost money from being greedy. You know,
Yeah.
because you see it happen and you expect it to happen when you see a trend in the chart, and sometimes that trend is broken, and then you didn't take your profits. You know, even a couple 100% profit. I've been in and out, saw it dwindle back down. So
Yeah.
take greed out of the equation as well. That's rule number two.
What's that?
Take That's rule number two. Take greed out of the equation.
Mm, that's
Yeah.
another word. I've done minimal day trading, very, very
Mm-hmm.
minimal, but I've listened to a lot of day traders who say that they've made as much as $19,000 in a few minutes
Mm-hmm.
and then lost $21,000 in 15 minutes. Like
Yeah.
that type of stuff, I feel like would hurt my heart, you know?
I've
To,
seen it
to,
before. Like when I first started, I remember putting in $500, and then I seen it go to 1,000. Then I seen it go to 1,500, and this was all within like 20 minutes. And
yeah.
then I'm looking at Twitter feeds, and people like, oh, it's gonna keep going. So I'm
Yeah.
holding off, and then I turn and come back. You know, did something, came back, and then my $500 was like $200.
Mm.
So it went up to 1,500, went back down to two. I should have sold, but
Yeah.
don't be
You see
greedy.
it. Don't be greedy. That is a word. Because you see it and it's like, okay, well, if I made this much, I can make that much more. But no.
Yes.
You have to be smart. You have to
Yes,
be
you do.
very smart. So there's two terms that are often used in stock options that I would like for you to break down for us, and that's puts and calls. Break down a put and a call for us, please.
Okay, so puts, when you buy call options, your contracts, you're going to buy either a call or a put. There's so many more levels to this, but call and puts are like the general term. So a put, you buy a put when you think the stock is going to go down. It's another word for that is called shorting. So this today when I wake up in the morning, I see Tesla's at 650 at an all-time high. And I'm thinking there's no way they're going to sustain this. So I'm going to buy a put for $600 because I think the price is going to drop.
Okay.
So when that price starts coming down, the premium that you paid on that put starts going up. So with options and even with stocks, you can make money either way the market is going. And a call is just the exact opposite of that. If you think the stock is going to rise, you buy a call. So if it was at 600 today and it had an all-time high at 650 last week, you might say, well, I think it could possibly hit 625 within the next couple of weeks. So I buy a call option at 625. And then as it starts to increase, that premium that you paid goes up. And then that's how you start to see your profit.
Mm. That I feel like just that breakdown is evidence on why it's so important to research and study the
Yes.
market.
It's,
Especially that's why it's important too. We've talked about this in the past. Creating a watch list is important, so you can
yes.
kind of see the trends within a company and you can see where it's going. Because when it comes to that, that's just pretty much you putting in your predictions, right?
Correct.
You know, it's really a gamble. So you really, you know, as with anything, want to educate yourself, and that's why we're here to kind of help you with that and kind of get the ball rolling, so that you can be mindful and know what to look for within a company.
I would say even with
How
your watch list, a note to put is you might be watching one particular company. It's good to put their competition, like other companies from that sector, into there. And also a lot of companies are bundled in EFTs. So I know there's a little more than option, but you have
Yeah.
SPY and things like that where the market moves a certain way. And if that EFT is moving that way, a lot of times that stock will move that way as well. Same thing with the sector. You know, if you're looking at electronic vehicles, if one is really booming, sometimes they pull all the other tickers with it. So, and that may be one of your the ticker that you're watching. So that's a little nugget outside of options that I could throw in there. So
Yeah, no, that's really, really good. When you're researching when you're researching companies, what are some of the things that you're looking for to determine whether or not it's a good money maker?
so the way I research companies, I don't look at a lot of companies because there's so many companies. Like I'll watch Bloomberg in the morning, and right now electronic vehicles are really hot. You know what I mean? So the rule that I live by, and I've learned this from trading for a few years, is to pick about 3 or 4 stocks that you really like and really learn those few stocks. Because like I said, with
Mm.
options, you can make money going up or going down. So you understand the trends of that company. And when you understand the trends of that company, you can just kind of make money off of those 3 stocks.
That's good. That's good. So how often, if you're doing like weekly trades or daily trades, how often are you, you know, trading with new companies?
I don't really trade with a lot of new companies right now. Right now, I've just been trading Tesla and NIO, and they're both electronic vehicles. You know, so Tesla, it's very volatile where it moves up and down, and so is NIO. You know, so you can watch that. You watch the trends, you study the charts, and then you can kind of see how it's moving, and then you can get in if it's going up or down either way just by studying. You know, those two. And like I said, it's a hot sector right now, so that's what I'm looking at. And then there's a lot of new IPOs coming out and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
this is another nugget. Don't buy them when they first come out because they're going to dip. Just like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Airbnb just happened in DoorDash,
And skyrocketed
and then they came back
like
down.
day one.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so definitely that's a really, really good tip because you think something's hot, you know, you see everyone else is talking about it, and it can be very tempting to want to get in early, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very, like you said, very smart to just wait it out and get it at a lower price because that's always the key is to get it at a lower price.
Yeah, because
Um,
people are going to bid on it because it's hot. They're going to buy it. Then they're going to sell at their profit. is what's going to bring the stock price down. So just wait till the sell off and you'll be fine.
Good tip. Good
Wait,
tip.
my bad.
How do you feel about Airbnb and DoorDash?
um, it's probably overpriced right now. I believe one. I don't know which one, but one was at like 160, like right out the gate almost. It might
I
have
think
been
that was DoorDash.
yeah, and then it came down about $30.
Yeah.
Um, Airbnb is people renting their houses. I don't understand how it's working, like that it's so profitable, but nothing is nothing makes sense in 2020. So
Period. No, I agree. I think I will invest in Airbnb later down the road because I used to host with Airbnb and I think it's a great platform. Um, and people are going to continue. I feel like it's a leader in its industry. You
mhm.
know, like it's the only one. People don't really talk about booking.com. They don't really talk about HomeAway. They talk about Airbnb and that's pretty much it. If you're not staying in a hotel, if you want a kitchen, if you want the perks of having of staying in a home, then you're going to do Airbnb. But
Mhm.
DoorDash has so much competition.
Yeah,
You know, I feel like there's so many other companies that do what DoorDash does. A lot of, just there's too many to go. And once we're out of the pandemic, I don't know that DoorDash is going to be quite as profitable. But once we're out of the pandemic, I think Airbnb will definitely be even more profitable. And they've been able to sustain
I think
in spite of
DoorDash.
the pandemic.
I think it'll stay profitable. Like about a year or so ago, I actually did Grubhub for a little bit to make some extra money. And I
Mm-hmm.
agree there are more companies, but DoorDash is the one who probably took their marketing to the next level that made them stand apart because there's Uber Eats, um, Postmates. There's a few of them,
Right.
but DoorDash is the one that you actually hear about. So I think they'll be
And I think it
sustainable.
depends on the market too, because when I lived in Los Angeles, everybody did Uber Eats. Like
Oh,
that's
really?
all of you really talked to. Everybody did Uber Eats, but
Okay.
then when you come, same thing. Like I feel like with Cash Apps and Venmo, I remember in
Mm.
LA, everybody only did Venmo, but
Okay.
then like on the East Coast, more people do Cash App. So I think it's kind of just like the market
I
that you're
agree.
in. So that's something else to research when you're determining
Yes.
whether or not you're going to invest in a company,
Exactly.
for sure. So what resources do you use to study the market and pick companies worth investing in?
Okay. So resources. I guess this is a good time to get your pen. TradingView.com is a great asset to anybody trading. You can do charting.
Tradingview.com.
You can do a wish list on there, charting. You can mark up the charts. You can add scripts. Like I just added a script that has a buy and sell, so it'll actually show you the trends. Oh, excuse me 1 second.
So make sure you're writing this down, guys. Tradingview.com.
So I said TradingView. Another one is Bar Chart. It's barchart.com, but both of these have apps. With a bar chart, they actually have something that I love. It's a trader's cheat sheet. It actually shows you different support and resistance levels, so it helps with trading. So it'll give you indicators that'll show you if your stock is falling, where there's possible support, or if it's actually rising where it's resistant. So support is where your stock is gonna where people are gonna push it so it goes back up, so it basically bounces up. And resistance is at the top, so if the stock is rising and if it doesn't break through resistance, it will hit a certain price and it'll bounce back down. So bar chart is good for that. Let's see. I use E-Trade. E-Trade has scanners on it. So since I trade on E-Trade, I try to use everything that they have available. That, like I said, the paper trading is on there. Um, they have an option scanner, so you can click it. I use the unusual history scan, so you can see where a lot of people are putting their money. So if I do something outside of what I'm normally doing, I'll use the scanner because you can see where a lot of people are putting money, and that usually indicates that stock could possibly go up. So I trade mostly calls. I don't do a lot of puts.
Can you break down what a scanner is to us? And
That's
thank you, E Sitting Pretty, for putting that in the comments. Tradingview.com and barchart.com in case anybody missed it. Break
the
down the
scan.
scanner to us, please.
The scanner. I don't do any custom scans. So this scanner, I just look for high volume on call, high call volume, and E-Trade is set up to where I can just highlight that, click that, and run it. So it'll actually go through its database and look where there's a lot of high call volume on a certain ticker. And it'll give me back all of those tickers, and it'll also show me the type of volume that's being put into it. And then I'll sort it by highest volume to low, look and see if it's a trade I want to get into, and then go from there. So it's a cool tool, but you can use E-Trade to use it. But I believe if you go on to Bar Chart on the web, there's a scanner on there too.
Okay.
I don't use that one, but there's actually a scanner on there as well.
Awesome. And these are free resources?
Yes, Bar Chart, TradingView, all free. You can pay for the service, but there's free versions. I use the free version too, so that's all you need.
Yes, I love it. I love it. What are you talked about some of the mistakes you've made. What are some early challenges you found with investing and trading?
Not looking at charts. When we first started, me and some of my coworkers, we used to trade. We started with penny stocks, like I said. Then we went into options and just blindly trading, not looking at charts, not knowing how to read the charts. Chart reading is so instrumental in trading that I'm going to say from this moment, if you feel like you're going to trade, go to YouTube, learn how to read candlestick charts. There's all type of different signals that you can use to determine whether the stock is going to rise or fall. So that was the earliest mistake. And probably not paper trading. Trading with my real money. I mean, they're valuable lessons that I've learned, but yeah, if I'd have paper traded early, I probably would have a lot more money in the bank.
Now, I find that interesting because a lot of people recommend starting with long-term investing, but you've kind of did things backwards where you started with day trading, got into stock options, and now you're also doing long-term investing as well. How do you feel about that? Is that something that you recommend, or?
I don't recommend it, but I'm a rebel, so.
There you go. And you did the work.
Just like my Tie Company, one day I said, I'm going to do this, and then the next day I started on it. So I just kind of like to step out there, and if it's going to work, it's going to work. If it's not, I don't know if it was Will Smith, but he said, fail early. So if you fail early, you don't waste a lot of time. So I kind of live by that. If I failed early, I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Do you feel like, though, it gave you more experience and more practice because you're daily looking, with daily trading, you're constantly looking at the stock market and you're constantly looking at what companies are doing. So it almost might have given you even more of a education.
Yes.
By doing it that way, even though most people wouldn't recommend it, and you wouldn't even recommend it, unless you are willing to be a rebel like Kareem. But yes. I feel like it might have allowed you to be more educated. I love it. I love it. Okay. What would you say to those who are overwhelmed by all of this? There's a lot of terminology, a lot of information. What would you say to those who are just like, this is too much, I'm not even going to get started?
Take baby steps. There's a lot of information out there. Like I buy courses on Udemy. I watch YouTube videos. Just don't stop learning. Take baby steps. Start small. Start with $25, But the key is just to start. It's so much money for everybody to make.
Right.
And I don't know how much time we have, but I'm also going to say, learn to take the emotion out of trading too. Because emotion, you don't want to be trading stressed out. You don't want to make trades based on stress. You want to make trades based on your signals. So you create a trading plan and stick to that trading plan. You won't trade from an emotional standpoint. Because if you're taking a big loss, you'll tend to hold that trade longer because you think it's going to bounce back instead of trading to your trading plan. And if it dropped below 10%, getting out of the trade. So those reasons why you want to don't trade with emotion.
That's so good. And our guest Jasmine said the exact same thing last week. I think that, any person who's been doing this for a little while can relate to that, emotion of, okay, I've lost this amount of money, but I want to make it back, so let me keep, and then you lose more. Exactly. Or selling too quick, and this company has the potential to rise back up. So You really have to take the emotions out of it. And like you said, don't invest with more than you're willing to lose.
Exactly.
I think that was the key. Some of the key gems that you shared was to strategize, have a strategy and stick to that plan. And then to make sure that you are really being mindful of what you're willing to lose, what you are hoping to gain, and just, again, having that strategy at the beginning can help you just make wise decisions and not just make, okay, I got this car note. Let me let me try to hurry up and make 350 or how much your car note is.
Can
So
I give you another key to put in?
please,
So
please.
when you're trading, once you sell and you have your profit, cash those profits to your bank. Because if you leave it in your trading account, it's not yours because you're going to use it to trade some more. So if you make $100, send that $100 to your bank.
Can you break down how that works with taxes?
I know it's a capital gains tax. So if you're not holding it for over a year, you're going to be tax heavier. So that's why you want to. Well, but the thing is, if say you didn't win all year and you lost more, that's also a tax write-off. So it's a combination of both. You can, they want you to make the money. So if you can make it, and just pay your taxes.
Just pay your taxes.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a little more, but
yeah. But you made more, so it's like
exactly.
So it's like all these rich people that have been complaining about taxes, but you made more money though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't give you these questions, but we're gonna play. You're not prepared for this at all, which is what I love. Okay. We're gonna play a little game. Typically we play the money game, but I switched it up a little bit and we're playing a game called This or That. Okay. And it's stock market related, and I'm gonna ask you the question, you're gonna give me your response, but then we're kind of gonna go deeper into the response, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm gonna give you two things and you're gonna tell me which one you would go with.
Okay.
So, day trading or long-term investing?
Day trading.
Why?
Because I know the money potential in day trading. I'm not looking for a ticker that's going to pay me dividends or anything like that. I know how fast you can make a profit in trading, so I like my money now.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say long-term investing just because I'm not as much of a rebel as you. And I haven't like come up big enough yet on day trading to go that route. But I think once I like get this information that you just blessed us with and practice it, I might be on your side. But I'm going to go on long-term investing for now. Okay.
Well, I had to pick one, but my real answer is both.
So I figured that. Okay, next question. Movie theaters or Netflix?
Oh, well, I love movie theaters, but it's 2020, so Netflix.
Okay, and that's the reason why I asked that question, because that's been a huge debate of late. Once the pandemic is over, are movie theaters going to reopen?
Well, I have my own screen, so I bring the movie experience to home. So.
Okay, I love it. Okay, he said I will bring the big screen home. Okay, yes. No, I think that that's something to consider when we're investing, right? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are invested in AMC or other movie theaters, and now which platform does he use for? And now for investing creatively, are you asking which platform does he use? E-Trade. E-Trade. So that's something to consider, whether or not you think when we're investing, we need to be looking at where the market is going, and I think that that's something to consider, is whether or not the movie theaters are even going to open, or if they're going to reopen at the rate that they once were. Is that a place where you want to have your money? So I'm seeing Netflix over here. You think so? Long term? Maybe. I don't know.
All of the stocks that were impacted by Corona, you can actually play them weekly too. Just like airlines, you see it fluctuate. Like when they promise a vaccine, stocks go up, you know.
Right.
Same thing with movie theaters. And I do say the movie theaters have gotten more creative, you know, like Cinemark in, was it Centerville? Not too far from me, you know. You can rent the
Hmm.
whole movie theater out for $99 and take like 10 people with you. Like they're trying to do
Right.
things to stay afloat. So I feel like
Mhm.
they're going to adapt, you know, and the first person that really has the best idea, that company's stock is going to take off. And then, like I said, you follow all the sectors and they all come up behind it. So,
Yeah. That's it. Because I was gonna be devil's advocate again and say, but that $99 ain't nowhere near what they're used to making when they fill that whole arena,
yeah,
or theater. But I feel like it's gonna be about which theater or which company comes up with something new,
mm-hmm.
and takes off. And it's going to have something to do with streaming. Like these
Yes.
platforms like Netflix and even Amazon Prime and, I mean, Prime Video,
Mm-hmm.
um, companies like that that are streaming are able to premiere big movies right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're not making as much as, you would have paid for a ticket because there's like you might have four people in your household and you only have to pay for one service.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that there's going to be some company like Netflix did that put Blockbuster out of business. There's going to
Yeah.
be some theater that's going to put all the rest of them out of business. I don't think that theaters are going to be as there's not going to be a plethora of choices
No,
like there was
it'll
before.
be AMC and Regal or something like that at the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
but I agree with that too.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of along the same lines as that question. Online shopping or brick and mortar?
I'm an online shopper.
Hmm.
So I'm an introvert. So
I
I
think
don't,
everybody's an online shopper now.
but
We
I've
ain't got
always
no choice.
been. I don't mind waiting a day to get something. So, you know, I'm an
Yeah.
Amazon. I love Amazon.
Amazon Prime didn't change the game. Like you can get something in a day or the same day. Like
Yeah.
it's just changed the game. And it's like, why drive to the store in hopes that you might have what I need when I can just search and find it? And I feel like that's something else that
Yes.
is just gonna shift. Like I just don't feel like I feel like we were already heading in that direction, and I feel like the pandemic has accelerated us into that direction, where we are going to pretty much everything is going to be online for the most part.
Yeah.
So I
And
think that is something that we really need to be mindful of when it comes to investing, where, because a lot of the recommendations that new investors get is to choose companies that they shop from or that they're interested in. But if those companies are dying, you know,
mhm.
I think back to when I was in college, I went to school for journalism in a time where online media was starting to
Mm.
surge. And my dream was always to have a magazine and to work for Essence magazine. But at the time, there weren't as many jobs because everything was online. Blogs
Mhm.
were taking over. Blogs were the new
Yep.
news. So just like that, I feel like things are drastically changing, and we have to be ahead of the game in
Yes.
order to win big.
Exactly.
So yeah, um, this has been fun.
Wait, what did you say? What your answer was? Online or brick and mortar?
Online shopping all
Oh, okay.
day. I ain't going to nobody's store if I don't have to.
That's funny.
Okay, groceries, all of that.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Hello from Morocco. Thank you for joining us. Um, so yes, thank you so much, Kareem, for all that information. It was just so enlightening. I want to give you time to tell us about your Thai company and tell us about where we can find that and find more information about you.
Okay. So my Thai company, most you can find me on Amazon. Amazon, the Ellis Tie Company. It's one of my ties. Have ties. I'm starting to accessorize. I have men's bracelets now.
Yeah.
Trying to expand a little bit. You can find us on Facebook. You know, you can buy it on Facebook. So Facebook, Ellis Tycho, Instagram, Ellis Tycho. I even have a TikTok now, Ellis Tycho
What?
TikTok.
Okay, let me find out.
um, yeah, you can find me anywhere. You know, if you need beats, follow my main, my personal page.
Yes, yes. No, I love it. Like Kareem said, we used to work together, and it was a huge office, and He had all the fellas fly. Even some of the ladies fly with the ties, okay? and the bow ties. I love it. I love it. So definitely follow what he's doing. Order you some ties. The Christmas season is coming.
Yes,
You want to
they
get
make great gifts.
they make great gifts for a father, for your man, for your friend, for your brother,
Yes,
or your sister, or your mother. Okay, so
exactly.
get the family fly. Look, check him out. Ellis, what's the tag?
Ellis Tie Company. If you
Ellis Tie.
hashtag how dapper are you in Instagram, you're gonna find me because I kind of coined that hashtag. So if
You
you
better.
hashtag how dapper are you, you'll find me. So
Did I get that right? Is there like a underscore there?
um, it might be Ellis Tie Code, but Ellis Tie Company. I think that's how it shows up. I think that's right.
How dapper are you? Okay, you better
Yes.
coin your own hashtag. I love it. Any last words you want to give to our listeners who are, most of us, I think, are pretty new at this investing thing? Definitely give us your last few gems to take on
uh,
the road.
Last few gems: study. Never stop learning, especially when it comes to trading. It's an experience where you're going to constantly learn. Um, I'm going to recommend the book New Trader, Rich Trader. This is a great book for anybody who wants to get into trading. It basically is a story about a new trader and a rich trader. It's New Trader, Rich Trader, sorry. It's a story about a trader who's learning to be a trader who gets a mentor, and he basically teaches him the ways of a trader. So,
I love it. New trader, rich trader. That's
yes,
my grandma. You sent my Uncle Henry a tie.
I remember.
Yes, that's him. um, so yes, definitely look into the resources that Kareem provided. I think that a lot of us get overwhelmed by the research. A lot of us get overwhelmed by having to do the studying, but it doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it. All
No,
we have to do is just take a little bit a day. I say
yeah,
just take a few moments of each day to, go onto the websites that
YouTube.
we mentioned
Yeah.
previously, learn, look at one chart, and then before you know it, it's all going to start making sense to you. Surround yourself with places that are using the type of jargon that Kareem is using, so
Mhm.
that you can become familiar with it, and so that it becomes like second nature, and you're like, oh, now I know what that means.
Yes.
So definitely just follow traders on Instagram. That makes
Twitter.
it easier because we're on Twitter,
Yes.
because they're giving so much information. What is it? Is Edwin on here? Because he gave me app Stock Twits, and
I use
it's like a Twitter. Use that as well. It's
I
like a
don't really
Twitter.
use, I use Twitter more than anything. I should have said Twitter too
Yeah.
because there's so much
Yeah.
information on Twitter. So,
Exactly. And people are just talking about what they're investing in.
mhm.
They're sharing charts. So I feel like if you just immerse yourself in the information, you're going to consume it, and you're going to learn whether or not you're really trying to or not. So it doesn't have to be so hard. We are so blessed to live in a time where information is at our fingertips.
Exactly.
We don't have to wait for the library to open like we used to back in the
Yeah.
day. Like
With
we
the
can
Dewey Decimal
YouTube.
System.
Exactly. Check a book out, and like we have everything at our fingertips between YouTube and Google.
Okay.
So take advantage and do the very, very simple work so that you can really enhance your future. That's what we're trying to encourage. So thank you
You're
everyone
welcome.
for listening. Thank you, Kareem, for being here and sharing all your information. I learned a lot. I know you guys learned a lot as well. Be sure to follow Kareem and what he's doing. We have one more week, you guys. One more week of the Black Wealth series, and I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about real estate. So definitely be back next week, same time, same place for that. Until then, watch this video a couple times. Bring out your notepad because I'm sure there's something you may have missed, and then tell a friend, tell a friend, to tell a friend to watch as well. Thank you, Kareem. Again, I appreciate you.
No problem.
And
Thank you
thank
for
you
having me.
all. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. Enjoy this good East Coast weather. It's going to be a good 60 degrees
Yes. Before it starts
this
snowing.
weekend. All right, guys. Till next week.
See you.